Everyone, how are you today? I sure miss being with you more often than I can, but I'm so busy, guys, so I apologize. I hear some awful good stories out there, how you guys are really doing well. This is a long journey here, and I promise you I'll get to that video on love either this afternoon or this weekend. And I want to keep this camera set up, Drew, over the weekend here. Hopefully I'll get to it this weekend. I'm trying to get the class put together and everything like that. And a couple of things. I thought we talk about balance, and of course some of you guys are really getting out there. I mean, one guy was telling me that they were doing the oranges and they've gotten up to these higher levels and have been proving all these things we've been talking about. And it's true. I'll tell you. So just be careful with the balance thing, but it's fun to journey into these higher realms of health and healing and to see it because it registers, it changes the mind. Of course, it changes the body, it changes your spirituality. So just keep up with that and keep working with that. On the other hand, someone was talking about Dan McDonald this morning, you know, how he's now going into high fats. And that kind of David Wolf kind of did the same thing, you know. You have to be careful, guys, with high fats, pump and pond scum, which is algae. You know, people think algae is so good. You know, these are proteins. These are single-celled organisms. And don't spend your money. Just go find a lake that's stagnant and suck the scum off of it. I mean, it's the same thing, whether it's Klamath Lake, it doesn't matter, Corella, Spirulina, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. But you see the problem is man seeking his answers everywhere but in front of him. It's like the Ponce de Leon was seeking the fountain of youth, and he was looking all over for the fountain of youth here in Florida. And his horse was eating on it all the while. You know, I mean, you got to realize the answer's right in front of your face. And I think that Dan just needed to come back and balance out a little bit, you know. But going into a high-fat diet, dangerous, that when you're malabsorbed and you have liver and hepatic problems, you are going to have problems with oils and stuff in terms of deficiencies, maybe, if you want to look at it that way. But when you fix your digestion and you fix your absorption, then you're going to do well with your fruits and berries and melons. And you bring yourself down to some salads if you want to for balance. But to sit there and go on a high-fat diet, and this is the pendulum we talk about. And you see this, David Wolf did that. He was a purist, and then suddenly digestive enzymes, probiotics. Then they did that at Hippocrates. These people are 50 years behind the times. I can tell you. Or I'm 50 years in front of the times, one of the two, because to tell you the truth, we get people way out there in vitality and health without palm scum and without all the high fats and stuff. Got to look in nature. Use nature as your barometer, not the man's intellect. If you use man's intellect and academics, as I've been trying to show you here, you'll get confused. And if you think for a minute that man's intellect is superior somehow to the creator, I would suggest narcissism. Because that isn't the way it is. Nature's where it's happening. Nature is the living, breathing example of how the Creator set everything up. And when we talk about laboratories, this is the largest laboratory we have access to. Not our little laboratories in these pharmaceutical companies or in universities. We're just playing. It's a game here, remember. This is creation. And so it's the game. We play our little chemist game. We play our little games. But if you want to know truth, you have to look beyond the game. And that's what we're talking about. Someone sent me what were they, throwing up or something? All these worms they were throwing up. Can you get a picture of those worms?
Yeah, they returned from Mexico.
Mexico?
And ever since, they've accumulated the parasites.
Yeah.
But we're talking larger parasites.
You want some for breakfast? No? No worms for breakfast?
Let me zoom in.
Zoom in. Nope, no parasites for breakfast. Protein. If you're going to eat palm scum, why not eat parasites? You know, I mean, they're all protein. I don't know what people, you know. All right, here's another thing we're going to talk about this morning. This is just going to be a quick video, by the way. And then this afternoon, I'm coming back, and I think you will try to get all these eye pictures. If not, I'm going to come in and answer all these questions. And EGLE 107, honey, you wrote me a lot of questions, sweetheart. I mean, page after page of questions. I don't know how much I'm going to get to that. And that's another thing. I invite you all to read books. And here's the other problem, though, with reading all these books is you get confused. But get into the natural hygienic books. Get into some of these books that really get into proper food combinations and things like this. Use your common sense. If fruit doesn't combine with anything, then don't try to combine it. You know, someone was saying that all these raw food books, you know, they show these salad preparations and they throw fruit in there. Just because someone writes a raw food book doesn't mean they're real savvy on all the aspects of raw foods and food combinations. That's the problem with a lot of these books. And so you have to, you know, I kind of echo what the head of the American Medical Association said to Wally, I think it was Wally Safer, one of the 60 Minutes guys, when they were on to him about medical doctors that hurt other people and moved to states and keep doing this. And the head of the AMA at that time said that buyer beware. Wasn't patient, wasn't individual citizen, wasn't anything like that. It was like buyer beware. And that right there spelled that out. If you can find that, that's probably 15 years ago, but if you can find that old 60-minute interview, you'll be shocked at what the head of the AMA says. Well, that just says what his consciousness of the AMA is, and of course medical doctors are going to exude that consciousness. You know, it's just the way it is. So that's what you have to do. You guys have to get knowledged up, use common sense. You know, if you're suffering, realize there's a process to getting well. And sometimes that process is long, it's hard, and we just want to give up and go find something to take that'll fix us. There is nothing out there to take it to fix us. Go back to all those years you suffered and all the things you took. And we're just seeking that one thing that'll make us feel better, and there isn't. Because if you get too much, like Dan is in oils and he feels better, but now he's going to go for the crash because now the liver's stressed. Matter of fact, that's how we detoxify the liver from stones, right? Is we spasm the liver with a liver gallbladder flush. And what do we use? Oils. Too many oils will spasm your liver. So you have to be careful about going too far on either side. Balance, guys. That's why I teach balance. And a lot of you, which is good now. I'm not being down on Dan or anybody else. I'm just saying that in front of your eyes, you're seeing the different aspects, and you're seeing some of us get out of balance, some of us come back into balance. No judgment. It's the way it is on this rock spinning through space. But just for you guys, try to stay balanced. Don't do the David Wolf and Dan McDonald thing where you went from one side, the purest side, and then you flipped way over to another side. Walk with balance. If you want to add fats in your diet, okay. Add them in, but don't make that total. Because if you look at someone's supplements that come in, they have on a lot of oils. And oils are the most toxic part of plants, by the way, and that's FDA, not me. And I believe that. That's why essential oils in this country are only allowed external use. Germany allows some internal use of essential oils. Anyway, what I want to show you this morning is called kinesiology. And I was in partners with a chiropractor for a long time in the earlier years. He graduated from Palmer, and I graduated from Brantwood, and we came together. We were in Eckankar together, and we liked each other right off. And so we taught classes because we were just graduated. We didn't have any clients, and so he went into another practice with another chiropractic group, but he needed his own clients. So we taught classes together for years, and he was kinesiology, and I was detoxification and herbology. And this is, now they have different names for it now. This was called Touch for Health years ago. And they have all kinds of names for it now, and I'll just give you some ideas. Here's some points on the back. I'm going to show you these points that you can touch, that you can work on, because some of you that are having serious lymphatic problems need to do this on yourselves. It'll be really helpful. It really increases drainage here, so of the lymph. So I'm going to show you that, and we've incorporated the help of Matt. Now, the reason you guys get your herbs on time and good is because of Matt here. Matt is the head of the shipping department and all around good sport. Are we going to do this over here? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to show you some things that you can do to help yourself out in stat emergencies. This is Matt, and how you can help yourself in emergencies. And unfortunately, Matt, you're going to have to take off your shirt. Yep. Now, girls. Okay. Now let's turn Matt around first, and I want to show you this. Now, you got that, Drew? Matt's got a spine running down through here like everybody else. And you'll feel up here, a lot of people go, oh, my shoulders are stiff and tight. Like, Matt, you feel that right there? You're real tight and stiff. So on each side, not on top of the spine, but on each side of the spine, especially between the ribs as you go here, but on each side of the spine are called neurolymphatic points. And that's just what they are. They're neurolymphatic points. They stimulate lymph nodes and lymphatic drainage through the nervous system. When you're playing with frequencies and magnetism and everything, there are certain directions you want to follow to maintain strength and directions that can actually weaken. So when you're working on somebody and you're trying to get their lymph system to drain, especially when you're tight in the head, you're tight in the shoulders, thyroid is low, things like this. And we teach this in class, so I'm not going to get too much into this for you on the YouTube, but you want to start up here, and it's on each side of the spine, not on the spine itself, as I said. And what you want to do is take your thumb and feel where a person is real hard, and you want to go clockwise. You want to go clockwise, and you want to work down this spine, because each one of these neurolymphatic points relate to lungs, relate to kidneys, relate to all the tissues, like reflexology on the foot. And you work this all the way down, and where you get down into the kidney. See, now I'm getting down to your kidney. See that? Feel that? Yeah. That's just kidneys. And so what we're going to do is boost his filtration up for the day. And what this will do is help him drain. And you can work them right on down. You work them right on down. You can work them right on down into some of these real hardened areas that have a hard time. Feel that? Yeah. Same thing. You want to get on this side too. You can use both fingers like this. See that, Drew? You can use your knuckle, but you don't want to hurt them. And a lot of times they're going to be real sore. So what you want to do is start out slower and work it out of them. Work it out, work it out, work it out, work it out. And work them down toward the kidneys here. They're going to be sore in the kidneys. A lot of people are sore in the thyroid, which is located up here. And you can boost them for the day in the thyroid. Now, if you go counterclockwise, you'll weaken them. You will weaken that respective tissue. You could use that technique in hyper cases, hyperactivity. You can start at the neck and work these spots down. I had a good friend. He was, you're stuck right in here. I had a good friend who was Jensen's first patient and lifelong buddy. They go down in the Philippines and they filmed psychic surgery where the guy went in, and boy, I saw the film, and the stories were incredible with him and Rudy. But Rudy was a napropath, and he could take 2 points on the body, and I could feel my lymph literally draining. He was so smart about how the body works. So this is important to do, especially for those that have cancer and fighting lymphatic drainage problems. Work on these points. Now, I'll turn you around and I'll show you some more. These are a little more painful, so I'm not going to do it. But if I was a chiropractor, sadist, are we? Good. So these points are a little more sensitive, and they're on each side of the rib there where it comes in. Here's the sternum and each side of the ribs, and you get in there and you go clockwise again, and you can work that out. And you just go right down this sternum here, just like this, and you work it out. It can get real sore. Right under here is one. It can get real sore. Real sore. And this is especially true when you're having heart problems, heart palpitations. You're having, think you're having a heart attack. Work on the foot. That'll pull you out of the heart attack. Work on these areas here. Much more painful. Here. So if you do that, thanks, man.
No problem.
Yeah. So if you do that, you'll help open that flow of lymph, and it'll be really good for yourself. Okay. Thanks. I appreciate it, Captain. What's your phone number now? No. That's just a simple demonstration of kinesiology. If we had more time, I would show you how to weaken a thyroid. And you can use, remember that video we have on muscle testing? Yeah, baby. What you can do is go to the thyroid gland on the back, and you could rub it. You could have them hold their thyroid gland like this, and I think we even just demonstrated that, didn't we? Where we can weaken the thyroid and increase that thyroid. Well, this is the kinesiology, and I would do it on everyone, especially when you're tight and stiff, or you're fighting cancer, you're fighting anything involved up in here, breast tumors, tumors on the neck, head, congestion,
Yep.
everything. You break that channel, you open up that channel down that spine, and that'll open that up.